All right, well, welcome to another video series on Apex Sniper. Be the sniper or be the target. And you have to work at it to not be the target. If you want to be the sniper, it takes a lot of patience, a lot of discipline, a defined system, and mastering it, and a team to help you, right? So, as with any video presentation, I got to do a quick disclaimer. So, there you go. One thing I want to bring up is the Lilu Rhythmic data feed update. You may not know this, but when you were logging into Rhythmic, you were on your R Trader, you had one data feed. When you logged into Ninja, you had another data feed. But the CME made a change for Rhythmic where they charge for a second data feed. Okay? And that happened on May 1st, so it's brand new. So you have a few options. I'm going to let you know what those options are and how to access them. You can only use one login on the top. And what I mean by the top, let me show you. Let me shrink one window and bring this up. You could choose to not log in with this section. Delete your username and password and just log in just to the orders section. That will let you see your threshold and it'll let you close trades. Okay? So you can still log in and see your threshold. You just only log into the top portion. If you wanted to, you could switch back and forth. So you could log out of Ninja and into R Trader. Probably not something you want to do. Or if you want to have both data feeds at the same time because you want to have access to the DOM, the unlimited DOM on Rhythmic, then you can subscribe to a second feed. It is $30 to subscribe to the second feed. And I have the link right on here. It's sort of a long link. So I'll leave it up there for a second for you to be able to get a hold of it if you're watching this on recording. And I'll go ahead and put this in the chat window to everybody that's on. So it's $30 for that second feed. And once you go to it, let me show you what the page looks like. You have to log in. If you don't log in, you won't see the option. Okay? So you have to go on here to the page and you scroll all the way down to the bottom. And let's see here. We have to make sure we're logged in. So see, I'm not logged in, so I can't see it. So I got to log in. And now I scroll all the way down. And I'll see CME Extra Session for $30. So you click on that and you subscribe to activate it. And once you've done that, you then need to open a ticket. Let me show you where to open a ticket. Over here at Lilu, if I can type right. Get my fingers in the right spot. There we go. LiluTrading.com. You click support. Click tickets. Start ticket. And that'll all come out, okay? So make sure you log in, you fill that out, and submit a ticket, okay? So it is a second data feed. It is not a requirement. So I want you to understand it is not a requirement unless you want to access the unlimited DOM. So that is not a fee that Lilu is charging you. That is a fee that Lilu is paying to the CME. Okay, so they get charged $30. They charge you $30. Technically, they're taking a little bit of a hit because of the merchant fee. Okay, so this has nothing to do with them. It's just a new fee that the CME decided to add on. So they doubled the rate from 15 to 30, and then they charge for each session. So it's almost like a 4 times charge. So Lilu is actually eating the double rate for you, whereas 15 now it's 30. They're paying the first feed for you. The second feed, if you want that, you need to add that on. So this is only if you want to, because you got to log into your Lilu account on Ninja to be able to place trades, right? If you want to use Ninja to place trades. So even if you already have a data feed, you're still going to have to log into your Lilu account. So unless you're going to place everything off the DOM, you got to log on and place your trades through Ninja. And then if you want the Rhythmic data feed, you have to do it through them to get access to that. So that is the only option if you want to get that feed. Okay? So a lot of people have been asking questions about it. They sent out an email about everything I'm saying right now, but I just want to make it clear for everybody. If you want 2 data feeds, you got to pay an extra $30. Nobody likes it. Leo doesn't like it. I don't like it. You don't like it. But the CME is the exchange. They own the data, and that's what they've done. Okay? So you click on that link, and then as soon as you subscribe, you open a ticket. And again, if you don't want to use the unlimited DOM, you don't have to do it. Okay? So this isn't a required fee. This is an optional fee. So today's trading room results. Who is in the trading room today? So we started off well. We had a few good trades in a row, right? And then we had a few losers, right? Some people came in right as we had the losers. They didn't get the first few winners. Okay? And I didn't want to leave y'all hanging on a bad note. So, not calling you a loser. I'm just saying you had losers. So, I didn't want to leave you on a bad note, so I stayed in the room almost all day long. Okay? And called out 12 winning trades in a row, then 1 more loss and 1 more win. So we ended up having a total of 16 wins, 16 wins, and 4 losses on the day. So I stayed in there, and I made sure that if you followed the trades, you got back the net profitable and then some after that. Okay? Some of y'all bailed probably a little early. If you did, you didn't get to take advantage of that. So, one thing I want to remind everybody of, because I saw some people going, oh, I'm down 2, I'm down 3, I'm belling, I'm stopping. You're not following the 6-3 ratio. The 6-3 ratio is part of the sniper plan. If you're down 6, you stop. Not if you're down 1 or 2 or 3. If you're up net 3 trades, so let's say you're going for 9 ticks on NQ. If you're up 27 ticks, you stop for the day. Okay? David, great job. Got 16 and 4. So there you go. But you stop when you're up a net 3 ticks. Okay? You don't stop when you're down 2 trades or 3 trades. You stop when you're down net 6 ticks. If you stop early, you're just going to keep losing days when that happens. So 33 ticks would not be stopping when you're down net 6 trades. Well, if you're risking 21 ticks, that'd be like 126 ticks. So it'd be quite a bit. And the whole point of that, this is one of the biggest cruxes that people don't get. It's not simply your win-loss ratio, and it's not simply your amount you make when you win versus amount you make when you lose. It's when you stop trading. That is the most important aspect of money management. So, okay, good. You stopped at 33 net profitable trades. There you go. And it can be tough to do, but it is a rarity. Actually, I don't think I've seen anybody who's followed the rules on all the trades actually hit a net 6. I'm not saying nobody's ever done it, but somebody who's followed all the rules actually hitting that. Now, there's probably been some people that have managed to pull that off. But the whole point of this, all right, is the stopping when you're down net 6. So the amount of ticks you're risking times 6. Or up net 3. The amount of ticks you're trying to make per trade times 3. If you stop before that, you are breaking the money management model, and it's probably not going to work out for you. Does that help, or does that maybe enlighten a couple of y'all that maybe didn't understand it before? Yeah, today was the first day we've had, I think, period, 3 losing trades in a row. It was a rare thing. But we came back and we got 12 winning ones right after that. Doozy, you're just going to have to average it out if you're trading across markets. So, yeah, sometimes you got to grind it out. And I'll stick with you to grind it out. And I proved that today. I was like, you know what? Some of y'all just came in. We got these 3 net losers in a row. I'm sticking with you. I stayed in there. We grinded it out. And remember, your losses are, you got to pay for your probabilities. You got to pay your probabilities. Probabilities mean there's going to be that occasional time when you lose. We paid our probabilities, and then we came in, and we made it back. We hit 12 in a row right after that. So if you're only risking 9 ticks, I'm not sure what you're trading. Maybe you're trading a 6-tick chart or something like that, but it'd still be 6, 7, 8. Yeah. But if you're risking like say 20 ticks, then it'd be 6 times 20. If you're going for 9 ticks, 9 times 3 would be your take profit when you'd stop. 12 in a row, we were trading NASDAQ. I think may have thrown an ES trade in there. So I just want to remind y'all of the 6-3 ratio and why it's so important. And that's also one of the reasons why I like the funded accounts, is because it gives you the mental capital ability to keep going, whereas if that's your savings, it's a lot harder to do that. Another thing is we are trading NQ again. So if you don't have an NQ chart up, you are missing out. All right, so you should definitely have NQ back up. You can have ES up also, but definitely have NQ back up. Risey, you got the formula right. 20 ticks times 6. So if you're trading, and then that's another good thing to bring up. If you're trading Lilu, you can do 2 contracts on NQ instead of 1. Okay, so 1 contract on ES, but you can trade 2 contracts on NQ if you're doing like the evaluation or performance account on Lilu. Is it a must to also have up MNQ and MES? I'm not going to tell you it's a must. It's not a must. I got a couple trades today because of having up MES, or MNQ, I mean. But it's not a requirement. So like I actually had a couple setup 4s that happened on MNQ that didn't happen on NQ, and they both won. So you may want to go ahead, and I highly suggest if you've just been trading ES, it's time to pull NQ back in. You may have noticed most of the original videos made in Sniper were made on NQ. It's a lot easier market to trade in the sense of it has a lot more trades and they don't take near as long. Okay? Do you need expected volume on your charts? No, not yet. Wouldn't worry about expected volume. I've even been taking triple dippers on NQ, and I haven't worried about expected volume. The brick size setting for 250 is only for ES. It is not for NQ. NQ is the defaulted one, which is, I believe, 50. All of them are 50. Now you can pull up EV. It's just I haven't had it up on my charts, and it makes your chart take forever to load. 10 size for a brick, just like the original setups in the Sniper. Yep. Okay, so definitely let's pull that up. It's not about the CPU usage, it's about the individual core usage. So, power scalping video. Who was on last night when I was calling out trades? So, oh, by the way, today, despite that difficult day, I netted $33,000 on the day. We're going to be talking about trailing tonight. Y'all interested in learning about that? Yeah? Okay, well that's coming up. So let's see, last night. So there's the picture from my Dom last night. Made $1,000. Netted like 4,900 last night. But made $1,000. Actually hit the same trade 3 times in a row. Now, to get access to this video, you have to be part of our Facebook group. By the way, Facebook has some weird things going on right now. But this video is on our Facebook group. And I have basic things about the unlimited DOM and how to use it. Okay, on the youtube.com/Apex Investing channel under the Dom playlist. But this special video will not be uploaded publicly. It's only uploaded to the Facebook group. So make sure to join the group if you haven't joined it already. And you'll see how I did it. This is an extremely simple trade. And I walked through it step by step, and then I literally did the same trade over and over 3 times. Okay? So I just sent the link. If you just search Apex Investing on Facebook, you'll see our page and you'll see our group. So you want to join the group. Let's see. You want me to bring it up and show you? All right, so if you just search Apex Investing, you'll see this one with sort of the off-centered sniper logo. That's the group. You click on that, you click join, and then I'll get a request for you to join. Like I just got one right there. Got Johnny is now in the group, okay? So join the group. You can scroll down and you'll find the video somewhere down here. Trading day in the room. Just keep scrolling down. Sort of doing this the slow way. Got a lot of people talking about their day in the trade room. But, and if you scroll down enough, I could probably pin it to the top to make it easier. Let's see here. There it is. That's the watch party. See if it's a little bit further down, or if that's the best one to pin. I'll just pin that one. Hold on. I'll pin it to the top so you don't have to scroll forever. How does that sound? Of course, it won't forever be pinned to the top. Let's see. Mark as announcement. Oh, actually, this is the one. And then... Oh, pardon me, I'll edit the post topic, because you can click on post topics over here. And it's not really a good topic for it. We'll just call it ATM. Okay. So now ATM is a new topic you can use to find it later if you join on. So now we got it. All right. I have no idea why it would not be available to you. How does the DOM that I am showing differ from the static DOM on Ninja? Well, one thing you'll notice, the main thing you'll notice, is we get unlimited depth. So literally I can go as far up and down as I want to. I don't just see 5 levels up and down, which is really important. And then I can also see how many traders are at those levels. And I can also see how many orders have happened at those levels with this histogram over on the side. So the trade volume at that specific price. There's only one Facebook group for Apex Investing. It's the one with the sniper logo on it. Okay? The risk-reward ratio works if you trust it and let it work itself out, Abram. So it has worked very well. And we actually are very good at hitting the 3 target. If you change the risk-reward ratio around, then you're going to have less targets hit and more stops hit. So this has been tested by thousands of traders for a long period of time. It works very well. It doesn't look like your normal system. Sometimes I do trade off the DOM. And actually that video that I told you, I trade right off that DOM. So I'm always watching the DOM and using the DOM to my favor. And again, if you'll hop on over, let me show you where this is at. If you want to learn a little bit more about the DOM, you go to youtube.com/Apex Investing. Go to our playlist, and you'll see DOM training videos. And click on View Full Playlist, and you can play all these videos. Most of them are pretty short. Like most of them are about 15 minutes. This longer one, I go into a lot more detail on the DOM. And mistakes and tricks and everything. Now this one is talking about the Ninja Static DOM. These are talking about the other DOM on RTrader. So those would be great videos for you to watch. But if you watch that one video, you'll see how, I did 3 trades, 10 contracts, made $1,000. So if you're only doing one, you would have made $100. You would have more than paid for that $30 fee just on that trade last night. Okay? Reminder, be in the room each and every day. Okay? Be in the room each and every day. A lot of traders, they try to go do this on an island. They're like, I watched the videos. I watched them 5 times. I know what I'm doing. And let me give you an example from my own life this week, okay? Be in the room day and, like some of y'all are in the room day and night, because you never know. But there's always traders in there helping you out. But, okay, so y'all may or may not know this, but anybody who signed up before May 1st, even as a free bootcamp member, is being sent the marker boards that I show. The sniper marker boards. With the 5 things to concentrate on, and they're being sent a poker chip as well. And of course, there's a marker inside the package. Well, when I sent out the 100 packages for the Apex Live event that we had, we literally had to do every one of them individually. And I'm like, there's no way I'm sending out 800 of these in the United States alone. Plus the ones that we're going to send out internationally later this week. So, which, by the way, you ought to be getting those packages this week. So I hopped on stamps.com and I spent 6 hours trying to figure it out. I watched videos and everything else. And I found out after I figured out how to use the online, I figured that wouldn't work with my labels. I had to use their downloaded software, so I had to start all over. And then I figured it out and I was able to go in and go, okay, well, they're like, how thick is your envelope? And I'm like, well, with everything in it, the thickest point is 1/4 inch. And how much does it weigh? 1.4 ounces. What's the size? 6 by 9. Okay? And then I proceeded to spend the entire weekend printing labels, because it took that long to print all the labels. Like, it literally is just changing out ink cartridges and everything else. And then we proceeded, my wife stayed up and my daughter stayed up till 4 a.m. putting all of the labels and stamps on, so we could have them done and ready and out the door Monday morning. So my wife then takes all of them to get them into the mail by 10 a.m. Monday morning. And they're like, we can't take these. She's like, why not? She's like, well, it put $1.20 on there, and that's only for if it's a piece of paper. She's like, because we have to feed these through a feeder at the postage rate put on there. It's like, if it was 1/4 inch thick and it was the same thickness front to back, it would work. But it's going to cost you an additional $2.50 because these won't go through a feeder. And we're like, oh my gosh. Okay? And they're like, if you do a big mailing like this, you really should bring it to us before you get like 700 or 800 of these things done, and let us verify it for you. Okay? And so trust me, the thoughts are, I'm like, well, maybe I skip the pins and tell y'all to go buy your own markers. And I'm like, well, will the chip work? And they're like, nope, even a button wouldn't work. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, I really don't want to go pull 1,000 pins out of it, or 800 pins out of envelopes. And I'm like, okay, so how do we fix this? And so, fortunately, I live in a small town, and the post office, postmaster people there, they actually spent the last 2 days sticking the additional postage on all of the envelopes. I mean, I got to pay for it, but they did it all themselves for me. It was very, very nice of them. Like, they don't have to do that. Normally, no post office would do that. Okay? the mistake I made that they said is you should have brought one up to us and made sure that it was, right before you do so many. So yeah, it actually cost $2,000 more total. Which it would have cost me that anyway, but at least I wouldn't have had to go through all that trouble. So many traders that I talk to, can I have 30 more days? Can I have 60 more days? Can I do this? I just didn't quite get it down. I don't see your charts. You should have brought them to me before you made 800 trades and blown up your account, right? Bring up the envelope first. Bring up the charts first. Show us your charts. Okay? So, but the big lesson I want for you is just like that. I made that mistake, and I had a team. I had people who cared, and they helped me out. And we could have avoided the entire mess, because I did all this hard work, right? I spent 6 hours figuring out how to use the software to get it all done and automate the process and do it right. And I knew what I was doing. I was so confident. I printed off, $1,000 of postage. And once you print it, it's printed. Okay? I knew what I was doing until I showed up to the post office. And now all of a sudden, I was doing it all wrong and I didn't know. Sometimes you just don't know. You're making a mistake. You think you're not making a mistake. You think you got it down. And being in that room will help you so much for not making those mistakes. Don't wait till you get 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Don't wait till you get 2 weeks into trading. Start posting your charts right away. So you don't know what you don't know until someone who does know sees it and tells you. Just like I learned with the postage this week. So Doozy here gives me a quote. One of our great challenges in life is knowing enough to think you're right, but not enough to know you're wrong. So, and that is a great challenge in trading. That is a good quote. Know enough to think you're right, but not knowing enough to think you're wrong. And that is what happens when you're brand new in here. Even if, I don't care if you're a veteran trader, you're going to know enough to think you're right, but you're not going to know enough to think you're wrong. And, they tell me, well, you should have brought one up. It's like, well, if I would have known I needed to bring one up, I would have brought one up to you. Well, I'm telling you right now, you need to bring one up to us. You need to bring up your charts. So Damien's like, it was 4 months before I posted charts on a regular basis. Do you wish you would have done it from day one, Damien? It's like, oh, yes. So, somebody's asking, do you think the DOM will pay for itself? Yes. If you watch all those videos on youtube.com/Apex Investing and you watch that one I put in the Facebook group, it easily pays for itself. And you'll see why. So, Chris is saying that's how I get better every day. He used to be like a 20 trades a day person, and now he's like, I made 3 trades today and I'm done. And we're like, what? So, be in that room. Be in early. I want to congratulate. I know a bunch of y'all have got your funding. I know some of y'all are struggling and y'all have had to reset. I had to reset a few times before I got it down. Okay? So, but that's where I learned the system that I taught you on the funding page. And a lot of y'all just signed up and you didn't really pay attention. But go back and watch what I say to do to pass. Okay? So, and remember, 1 contract on ES, 2 contracts on NQ. And resets, even if you do 10 of them, it's cheaper than losing $2,500 in live money. Okay? The thing last night, that happens often. Someone's asking how often does happen. It happens every night. It even happened today. I called it today on one of our trades. So, when you hit your, 6 or 3, hopefully you're 3, then stop trading for the day. Don't sim trade. Don't market replay. Watch videos. Learn. Train. Okay, don't be in sim all day. Switch over. Switch it to... What you literally can do is you can have your blank workspace open and you can switch to your blank workspace, and in the background, okay, in the background, it will keep your sniper workspace open. Okay? So that way it's still building, but you're not distracted by the charts and trying to follow them and tempted to hit buttons and everything else. So make sure you do take advantage of that funding. Remember, we've been doing these tutorials. John has another one tomorrow. A lot of y'all have been loving, I've been getting overwhelming positive feedback about this felt so complicated, but boot camp tutorials have made it so simple. And all you got to do is log on, go to the sniper page and scroll down and watch those videos. It will simplify everything for you. If you're in boot camp, if you feel overwhelmed, if you feel like you're not getting it, I want you to go and scroll to the bottom of the sniper page, just above the recordings, and watch the tutorial section. Just spend a day watching all the tutorials, okay? All right. So, and I know some of y'all, 9:30 to 11 may not be the best schedule for you, but sometimes you got to just change your schedule because that's the best time to trade. And I'm going to spend my time the most wisely at the best time to trade. So whenever I was, when I had a full-time job, I used to trade at night. So you just got to trade when you can, and then if you have the option to change your schedule around, change it around. So a lot of y'all got stimulus checks. Some of you didn't, but a bunch of you did. I want to remind you to invest in your business, and that we've made special plans for you to get to the point of larger withdrawals with Lilu. And I want to make sure you know where to find those packages. John, if you can post that out. Some of y'all are in the middle of a trial or a $1 trial, and you don't want to give that back. Or some of y'all just want to save some money. Okay? And so what you can do is, if you sign up for the promotions where you can get gold for silver, or some of y'all are thinking you can only do the 4-month promotion, you can sign up for gold for silver monthly right now. You can sign up for the gold for silver annual or lifetime right now. Okay? We have a 4-month package, which is 50% off. But we also have a monthly package, and we have an annual package, and we have a lifetime package. The lifetime is $2,000 off. Okay? But a lot of you are like, well, I don't want to lose out on all my free time. So if you sign up now, let's say you signed up for the 1-month package, and let's say you had 3 weeks left in your trial. Just submit a ticket. We'll add the 3 weeks to your account. Okay? So we'll make sure you're credited for the 3 weeks in addition. So basically, you'll end up only paying for 4 weeks, but you'll end up getting 7 weeks. Or if you paid for 4 months, and let's say you just you have 2 weeks left, then you'll get 4 months and 2 weeks. Okay? So if you're in a trial, let us know, and we'll credit the trial time to you. And I'll add 3 weeks to your lifetime, Chuck. I will do that. So it'll be good for 3 weeks past your day of passing. All right. So, extended time. If you have anything like that, Randy, John can answer that for you. Okay? So, many members are on trials. They've asked about, can they use the automation software? Or they're on boot camp. Yes, you can use it on the WeGlue exam. You can use it on, if you're on the free trial, if you're in the $1 trial. So, if you're missing out on trades, it won't catch all of them for you, but it will catch a lot more of them for you. Or maybe you're distracted and you miss out on a trade. Or maybe you're trading 2 markets and it's hard for you to keep up with them and you miss out on a trade. So if you go to apexinvesting.com/automate, okay, /automate, then you can sign up for the Markets Plus software, and we have the video trainings to download and a special Skype group just to help you out with any questions that you have. As a reminder, again, these plus markers plus chips are all coming out to everybody, and these are marker boards where it reminds you of the things you need to be focusing on. Is the market trending? Is there OD or DR divergence? Is the market ranging? Is there an ETX? Is there an obstruction? Like chop, like 3-bar chop, or a dark zone, or news, or double clusters, or 3 levels before take profit. So am I looking for a long or short? That's all you're asking yourself all day long before the trade even comes up. Okay? And then you mark 1, 2, 3, and then you are done. And then what I recommend is if you don't have one, but get a calendar, and every day put that calendar up on the wall. I don't care what's on the calendar, okay? Make it as fun as you want it to be. And get up and mark the day. Every day you hit your net 3. So it makes you get up from your computer, walk away, and mark it. All right? And if you buy tonight, you'll be able to use it instantly. The second you sign up, you'll be able to use the membership instantly. All right. So, ask yourself these questions that I just listed 1,000 times. Be looking for those in the mail. Okay? Everybody who signed up before May 1st, they should be arriving in the mail this week if you're in the United States. Then we're working on the international ones, and then I'll work on some after that. Yes, if you're an Elite member, you can get the automation. Just go to apexinvesting.com/automate. Okay? So, I'm not going to go into this in detail because I'm ready to dive into simplicity. All right, are y'all ready for this? So, some of y'all have already heard it, but are you ready for a refresher if you've heard it already? All right. So welcome to Apex Sniper at apexinvesting.com. We're talking about being the sniper or the target. And we're talking about a very simple way, so simple that it's been called simplicity, as a way to trail your trades. A lot of y'all want to know, how do I trail my trades? How do I get these big monster trades? Well, the first indicator I wrote was called the volatile trend line. The second indicator I ever wrote was called the choppy market warning. Okay? So let me bring up a chart of it. And by the way, we have added these charts inside the Elite Room for you. Okay? On NQ and ES. And I'll go into more detail, and I'll put up, I think what I'll do is I'm just going to talk a little bit about the training, and I'll go into a little bit of the details, but I'll put up a detailed video on how to set it up if you want to set it up on your own computer. But you do got to pay a fee for the data feed because it uses something special. There's something very unique about this indicator that no other indicator I know of has. Okay? These two lines actually use the exact same formula. Okay? So y'all see the two different lines, the dashed line and the solid line? Do y'all see that? I just want to make sure everybody can see the two lines. And let me pull up my Harry Potter wand here. So that way when I'm pointing to stuff, y'all know what I'm talking about. All right, so we got two lines. It's the exact same formula, but it's different plots. Okay? Why? Because, well, it's not the exact same. I take one piece of the formula, the algorithm, and I feed in the CBOE volatility indice for that market. Okay? And what that is just the implied volatility measurement of that market, and we're feeding it in live. So y'all probably know of one of the most famous volatility indices, which is known as the VIX. Has everybody heard of the VIX before? Okay? So that's the implied volatility measurement of the S&P 500, which implied volatility is a really special word for expected movement. Now, if the market's expecting it to move down, then the VIX goes up. If the market expects the market to move up, then the VIX goes down. So what happens when they are different? What happens when the VIX says the market should be going down, but the price is going up? Well, you can't see this if you're watching the VIX or the VXN for NASDAQ. Okay? You don't know what's there. And it will eventually correct itself. But when do you think you might want to trail a trade? When implied volatility and price are agreeing, or when they're disagreeing? Exactly, when they're agreeing. And so look at this, how we see they're green, they're both going up. So let's say this pulled back and gave you a long trade right here. Okay? And you wanted to trail it. Now you can have a really wide trail, or you could have a really tight trail. Your choice. Okay? So I wanted to cover one aspect of trailing for those that are, there's our disclosures. One aspect of trailing on Lilu. There's 2 times when you can trail on Lilu. One, if you're negative on your evaluation account, like if you've lost money, like let's say you're up 1,000 and now you're only up 500, or let's say you're down 500, whatever. But let's say you're up and then now you're down. Well, are you going to move up the threshold, that $2,500 threshold, if you're below, if like you've made 1,000 and lost 500? Okay, then you're not going to move the threshold up by trailing, are you? Because it won't move up until your positive is greater than 2,500 from your lowest point. So you can actually trail while in evaluation if you're negative. Now, as soon as you get to positive 2,500, close that sucker out. Okay, when you got a $2,500 difference, or whatever plan you're choosing, when you got that max distance, then yeah, close it out. But if you got less than that, that would be a time that you could consider trailing. Or if in your performance account, whenever you double your evaluation goal, then you could consider trailing. Does that make sense to everybody? Is there anybody it doesn't make sense to? A lot of people, like I said, don't trail in Lilu. It's like, well, there's a one time you can trail, and that's if you weren't, $2,500 away from your threshold. If you're only, say, $1,500 away, well, you're not going to hurt your threshold by giving some up. If it goes up, it comes back down. Because like right here, if this came back down to here and knocked you out, then that would hurt your threshold if you were at 2,500. But if you were 1,500 and you made money and you're not at 2,500, then you could trail. I would not recommend, again, go back and watch the video at apexinvesting.com/funding. Because I tell you what to do on the evaluation account. I tell you what to do on the performance account. And I recommend that you don't trail in your performance account until you've made double your profit, because you want to get way past that marker that liquidates you, because you don't want to fail your performance account. So be patient. So 1 contract for ES, 2 contracts for NQ would apply to the $50,000 account. I wouldn't recommend you do the $25,000 account, because I don't like the ratio on it on the drawdown. But if you're doing that, then I wouldn't even trade ES. I would only trade 1 contract on NQ. But I don't like the drawdown ratio to profit on the 25,000. That's why I tell people to do the 50,000 or higher. So performance accounts, wait until you're at double your performance goal before you trail, is what I recommend. But if you're down, you could trail. Okay? Does that, everybody got me? So now let's look at something else. What happens if, by the way, we're on a 30-second chart. You cannot load this indicator on diagnostic charts. It will blow up Ninja, literally. It'll just crash, okay? You can only load on time-based charts because of the way that the volatility indices feed, all right? So 1, don't ever load it on your diagnostic chart. You'll regret it. 2, you have to have an indice feed, which you're not going to get from your futures broker. Like you have to go to IQ feed or you have to go to Kinetic. and you have to sign up for one of their feeds. So I'll put up another video on how to set this up on your own computer, okay, with this webinar recording. But to help you out of the gate, we've already put this up inside the room right there. There it is on ES. Okay. And over here, here it is on NQ. So you already have access to it. Is that good? Do y'all like that? You don't need arrows. That I should probably just have them deleted off. Like, I don't even have them on my ES chart. I don't pay attention to it. It was something I was looking at a long time ago. Like, there's ES. Okay? So, imagine you got a short right around here, and you went short on it. And as it gets down here, they cross over, and all of a sudden you got two reds, and you want to stick with it. Okay? First method of trailing. You can put it at the high of the bar or the dotted line, whichever one is further away. It's like right there, then I put my stop there, then I put my stop there, then there, on each close of the bar, then I move my stop down here, and then I move it here, and then I move it here, and then 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 I'm knocked out. And that would have let you trail from 28.56 down to 28.45. So what is that, 11 points times $50? That's a $550 move. Not too shabby. So somebody was asking about risk-reward ratio earlier. Well, this is a solution to that. Okay, now, if you want to give it a little more room, then you could use the wider one. Okay, you could use this one right here. And if it's not falling fast, that might be a much better choice. Now, I want you to notice something. What happens when we see green and red? When you see this green and red, what do you notice happening in the market? Chop. Now, is there enough room here to still, I mean, you can still place trades, right? Like, you can still go for, 7 ticks. I mean, it's moving up and down, 12, 15, whatever. So you could still place trades, but would you want to trail necessarily if they weren't lining up? Like this one, you may line up and you go trail, and made a few points. But like right here, if you got a trade right at the bottom, might not be the one you want to trail. And see that one you could trail down a little bit, make a few points. But notice how it's just choppy. And what you're really looking for, the most ideal, is when they're both going in the same direction. But this can sort of let you know this might not be the time I want to trail. It's oscillating a whole, even right here on this one. Look at these big pullbacks right here. Okay, and then we got chop. And then all of a sudden both go green. Both are pointing up. Now let's trail that puppy. Trail. And this is tonight. This is live. This isn't cherry picked. We can scroll back and we can look at all sorts of options. But you can see when they line up, and that lines up with, now I'm not saying trade this. Does everybody understand that? EMAs would not work for this. This is way more advanced than an EMA. EMAs don't move backwards. Notice this will actually have you move your trail up and down. EMAs don't do that, okay? This is using implied volatility. It's way more advanced than some crappy EMA indicator that doesn't do anybody good except for the 90% of traders that lose their money in 90 days or less. So only use this with a setup. So if you were looking at the HotCom chart, let me bring it back up. you'll notice that both of the lines have a price marker. 28.53.13, 28.51.25. So the price marker is right there on the HotCom chart. See how it's big and green and or red? So these are simple 30-second charts. And this is something, I wrote this indicator like over a decade ago. And me and John were just playing around with some ideas and stuff. And I'm like, I wonder if. And I pulled it up and I was like, holy crap. This is fantastic for trailing. And some of y'all are like, how do you get those massive moves, Daryl? Well, this is I'm not going to say this is all of it. This is part of it. Now, if you want to know the full story on trailing, then you want to watch and I'm not just trying to sell you something because I'm giving you to this inside the room, okay? But we spend a lot of time on trailing and targeting of levels inside the Sharpshooter Apex Live course, which I'm still only charging $397 for. So it will go up. I've just tried to keep everything low right now with the way Corona's going and all that. Okay, it's worth way more than that. But, you know, because we teach you how to target levels and know what to go for on those. I mean, this is NQ. The other one was ES. On NQ, a lot of times I'll use this second one here. And I will give up some cash. I will give up some serious cash. Okay? But I will make a lot more by using it to trail. So, and see how these aren't lining up at all, but now all of a sudden they're lining up. Now it's time to trail. Now they're both going up. Now they're both green. It's like when you can get that just perfect little point where they're both angling down and they're both red, and you get a setup, trail, 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 trail. Okay, and again, here, right here, and notice this, watch this. See, this is why I use the big one, which I said, I give back a lot of cash. Like I was up 14 grand on a trade today, and I ended up net 12. I gave back $2,000, but I made 12. Okay? But right here, see this wider one? Notice how it stayed in? All the way till right here. So it rode down, we'll just say when it crossed here, 89, we'll just say 53-ish. Down to 89.24-ish. So we'll just say 89.54.24. So about 30 points. 30 points, $20 a point. Who can do the math on that? On a single contract. That's $600. So imagine if you're doing 10 contracts. That's $6,000. Okay? So this isn't about like confirming your trades. This is not about anything else except for if you want to trail and you get a setup and you have a reason to think it'll keep going, like you have room, okay, then you could use this to help you trail. And if you want to be conservative, use the dotted line. Now, I don't trail until I'm past my break-even point, because to me it doesn't make any sense to start trailing right away and get knocked out. So I used it today. Oh, God, when I was wrapping up, we got the massive slam down. Okay, so I sold over here. You said you want to see a live example. So here's from today. I made 30 grand today. I had some signal to sell, whatever it was. Okay? And I just had my stop above here because I'm like, this thing is going to bounce off this level. It's been here all day. This is a wall. And I just set my stop up and I just left it there. And I actually waited because I was expecting it to drop. And then all of a sudden it started dropping. And then it lined up. And then I started trailing. Boom, boom, boom. Right there, right there. Got out 10 contracts. Put it right there. Got out of my other, I don't know, 10 or 20, whatever I was doing right there. So I think other 20. Because yeah, I had 30 contracts short. So I moved it on down until finally it went up, and when I was right here, it stopped me out right there. So there's a live example. And let's see, what did I make on that trade? Let's see here. Like I said, this doesn't all sit by itself. We'll just say average 90, 13, 25. I got some better fills and some worse fills. Minus 89, 83. We'll just say 25 average, whatever, or 50. There we go. So that times $20 times 30 contracts. That one trade made me $17,850 bucks. Just that trade. This is not to be used for entries. I made that very clear. I cannot believe somebody just asked that. Do not use this for entries. So, Lakeisha, there's you, a live example making 17 grand today. And again, here is my screenshot for, let's see, I guess that's not today. That was an evening. Flat at $33,000 on the day. The hardest part about trailing is you're never going to be fully satisfied because you're always going to be like, man, I could have made more. And I mean, I know it sounds really greedy, making 17 grand. But I mean, look at this. I mean, the thing dropped from 89.80. It dropped down like almost another 35 points. Or 25 points. And that's what I talk about in psychology, is you're never going to be happy with winners. Because, well, I shouldn't have stopped out because I could have made more. Or I should have not trailed so tightly because I could have made more. Or I should, I mean, it's like, no matter what happens, I talk about these three scenarios of winning. And I actually think I talk about that in the psychology section of Sniper. And you just have to be okay with getting knocked out of the trade. I mean, there was still plenty of room left in this trade that I didn't get. And that's okay. I took my trade. I took it off my good setup. I got a wall. I'm like, it's going to go down probably and touch this wall, which is what I expected. I expected to fall down to this wall. And it did. But it went a little oscillation heavy, and it pulled way back. I didn't want to get back that much money. It wasn't worth making that extra. So I just trailed, and then I tightened up. I had it up here at first, and then I tightened it down. I'm like, I'm up a crap load. I'm tightening it up. So that's where you're protecting your profit, is by trailing it down. But I made sure it was first lined up before I started trailing, and that I was past my break-even point. And I had a reason to think it was going to go short. Where was the stop out? Where I bought back, right here. I had my stop right there, and it moved up a little bit and just hit it. No, there's not a way to do it without TX. You're using your TX trades or your number 4 setup trades. Well, what you would do is you grab your order, if you have an order on, and you would drag it down, and then you'd start dragging your stop. So literally, you just grab your take profit, move it down. Here, let me switch over to... Let me go to Sim. So I put a sell... crap. Hold on. Alright, there we go. So I put a take profit on. I think it's going to go down to here. I grab it. I move it. Okay. And then I'm leaving my stop alone. And then if it starts moving down, okay. So now that tight line has moved down, so I'm going to move to the top of this. But I don't really want to move my trailing stop until I can move it below the low. So it's going to have to move quite a bit down. But what you would do is after you'd moved down enough, so we might get to where we can do it after this bar, if it closes down here the next 30 seconds. See, notice how I have a hold of it. Like I'm ready to move it. Okay, so now I'm going to move it to here. Now I can't lose anything on the trade. Okay, I moved it right to the high of that bar. Now I'm going to click it again. I got it. Waiting on these 30 seconds to end, which will feel like forever. All right, so now I can move it to this right here. I mean, if it keeps going down, great. If it doesn't, I'm still going to walk in a profit. So does that make sense? Like how you move the trades, does he? Does he? All right, so now I move it again. Got a new bar. Okay. Now let's just say like I don't want to give it up, and I'm like, you know what? I thought I was going to hit this red deviation level or this red ice level anyway. I could move it right there. Oh, so now it's already popping back up on me. I could just right there, or I could move this target up and go, this was the price level I was looking for. And if it happens to go down and hit that target, then great. Now this should already be moved down to there. So I move my target up to like, if I thought I was just going to hit red ice. There we go. And we're out. 415 bucks. Or that'd be like $41. So it's not like a massive profit on that one. But, I mean, we didn't call it way up here. We got in, you know, in the middle of this drop versus right over here. But that's just giving you an example. Okay? Don't do that just randomly, please. Okay? I was just trying to show you how to move your orders. Some of y'all are really bad about taking an example and making it a rule. So, yes, so manually moving my stops and my take profits to like where I think the target is. Do I use sniper entries? Yes, I use sniper entries. So I'm using my sniper entries. This is not a separate system. This is for trailing only. By the way, you can move your chart on either chart. You can move your stop on either chart. This is already in the room right now, Leonard. We've already put it up for you. So you have access to it when you log into the Elite room. So the two lines need to be in the same color and angles in the same direction for you to start trailing? Yes. Yeah, sniper is the backbone to everything. I didn't take off the profit order. I just moved the profit order down, or I moved it to where I thought there was going to be a target, and then I trailed the stop. So once the trail moves below your break even, like I showed on this trade, and maybe you're asking this after I showed that, but once it moved below my break even, that's when I started trailing it. Yeah, there you go. Let's see here. If you want this on your own computer, you got to get a whole other data feed. Like I said, I'll put up another video that shows how to do that because I don't want to make this all complex. I'm trying to keep this simple about just the system, okay? But you have access to it in the room. The data feed costs like $100. So you may decide just to use the room. The big thing is you have to, there's actually a setting that I want to go over with you. If you do use it, then you got to put in the right volatility symbol. So like OEX for oil, GBZ for gold, VXN for NASDAQ, VIX for S&P 500. So, and again, I'll have another video up that shows you more of the details on it. Okay? So move it to break even after you can move it to break even. As soon as the actual trail line is past break even. So not to confuse the newbies, or make it a rule, but the lines were flat between 3 and 9, or they were opposing when both were 330 and 530. They lined up. It is time to trail. Okay? So, building on John's webinar. So if you take the trade on a diagnostic bar, would you be able to move your stops on a simplicity chart? Yes. Let me show you. Let's go over here. Let's grab this. Actually, let me just put them side by side. That's a yes. That isn't going to help us. You know, try the... Oh, God. Here, go away. All right. And try this just in sim. You know, you're not going to break anything. So let's say we just had a OD divergence TX long. We got ODD, right? So let's just say we did. And I hit buy market on here. Okay. That would have helped if I would have had a ATM on there. All right. So let's just say I hit buy market on here. I can move my take profit there. I can, and it moves right there. See? That makes sense? I can move my trailing stop right here. And if I move, let's say I move it up, I'm not supposed to yet, but let's just say I did. It'll move up over here. So they're tied together. All right, so, and I could also just take my take profit and move it down and say, I'm really liking this, whatever. Or I could just say, I'm going to close my trade. Hit close and it'll cancel out all the orders, and there we go. Okay? Now on the room charts, if you bring them up, let me see, a good question that came up. What if I want to zoom in on the room charts? There's all sorts of options on here that y'all probably haven't even played with. If you want to make it fit your screen, you hit this window right here. And it fits your screen. If you want to zoom in, you can zoom in and scroll down right there, like the 2 times. 3 times, you know, whatever fits. There you go. So now it takes up like an entire screen if you wanted it to. Okay? I would suggest you just use the one in the room to begin with, because you're going to pay a $100 fee. So just get used to it and see if you like it in the room. Okay, by the way, Casey's posting a screenshot. I can't click on links inside to go to webinar. It doesn't let me. So if you want to know which line is which, just double click on them and look at how they're formatted. But the dashed line, IVSD, and the other one IVSD2. Don't worry about which line is which. It doesn't matter. Just know that they're not like you're worrying about how the engine works instead of worrying about how to use it, how to drive the car. Yeah, the data feed for that is like $100 a month. So I'm trying to save you $100 a month. Once you've made a few trades, then you might be like, yeah, I'll pay for it. But let it pay for itself first, okay? And this is the choppy market warning. It's actually, there's a template you probably didn't know you had access to. And you don't need to download anything to do this, but simplicity, right there, okay? So you just load the simplicity template up, and it'll pop up. And it doesn't have arrows on it. You don't need arrows on it. So I hate that I had those up there because that's going to confuse you. But if you don't have the feed, it won't work. If you would have used the big trail, you would still be in the nice move. Yeah. So yeah, this big up move. Yeah, if I would have used the small trail, I'd still be in the big up move. See what? Right there, right there, right there, right here, and then just now out. Um, KC, you cannot add it because you don't have the feed. Just look at it in the room. Well, just the same way you saw me trail what it's doing right now. I just trailed. Repeat which setting? Unless you have the feed, you're not going to be able to feed the VXN. And you have to add the instruments and everything. Y'all going to make... I'm not going to answer anymore about the feeds. I'm going to have another video that you're going to have to watch for that. Okay? All right. So the questions for the data feeds will be in a different video. It does not matter which line is on top or on bottom. Don't make it difficult. If you want to place 2 contracts and take profit on the first one and trail the second one, that is an option. You cannot use a ninja trial. It's a special feed. Okay, until I upload the video, you won't know how to load it on your chart. Got it? If one of the colors changes, you might want to tighten up your stop. It could give you an early warning. Like, let's say you're using the loose stop and a color changes, you might want to go, oh, tighten it up. And notice, I mean, I got knocked out here, and you're like, well, if you got the big one, you still would have got more. Well, not really. I would have got it about the same price. By the time I got all the way back there. The feed is through IQ feed or Kinetic. That's the only 2 places you can get it. And it's called CBO indices, and I'll have a separate video on you for it, Mario. So everybody stop and listen. Use the room chart for now until the new video is released. Don't even try to load it because it will not work for you. No, we cannot put the Rhythmic DOM on the Elite Room chart. Because we'd have to have another Rhythmic feed and another account and pay for a monthly. I mean, it'd be expensive. So no, like you paying $30 versus us paying like $180 a month to have that up? No. Okay, so did y'all? I mean, I'm hoping y'all got this because this is called simplicity, and I guarantee you, 90% of you are gonna make it hard. But the whole idea is just keep it simple. All right, here's a simple way to trail that's dynamic. If you happen to have a target, like I think it's going from this wall to this wall, but sometimes it doesn't make it all the way to the wall. How could I trail it down? This is a simple way to trail. And when you get bigger accounts and you want to really go for it, then you can use the bigger trail. But remember, you always give money up when you trail. Rarely do you ever, like, you never pretty much get out like right at the top or bottom. So that is the emotionally hard mental capital part of trailing. I actually did a whole psychology part in the all-in sniper course about the mental capital psychology part of trailing, because it is more difficult than it looks. Doozy, it doesn't matter where one is. Just imagine we had an Xbox set up short, it lined up, and you decided to trail it. It doesn't matter where the Xbox setup is. You're making it hard. Okay? Just imagine there's an Xbox short, and you're in the trade, you look over, and you see they're lined up and going down. Move your take profit, trail your stop. Like, it's that simple. So I showed you how to move a take profit. I showed you how to move a stop. That's all there is to it. Like, I want y'all to keep this simple. You can make it hard, but let's keep it simple. Okay? All right, so did y'all like that? I mean, showing you how I made 17 grand. I mean, we just put a trade on and made $400. I mean, that was a sim one there. but the other one was live. You need to line the simplicity chart up with the market you're trading. So you'd use NQ simplicity for trading NQ and ES simplicity for trading ES. All right, awesome. So I hope y'all got a lot of that. I know a lot of y'all been wanting to know how to trail. This is a piece, and I hope y'all all hear this part. This is a piece of how I trail. For everything on how I trail, it's in the Sniper Sharpshooter course. Okay? But this is a piece of it. And this is a simple piece. And if you want to get better at it, go check out that course when you can afford to. Okay? But this ought to get you on the path. George, get another monitor. You can buy one on Amazon, a USB Asus monitor for 180 bucks, and you can plug it right into your USB drive. Yeah, make sure both lines are matching in color. And if you want to do conservative, use the dotted line. If you want to be more aggressive, then use the solid line. All right? Your video card has nothing to do with the USB monitor. You plug it into your computer. Okay. All right. Well, I am going to wrap up tonight. I will get this video up for you, and I will get the how to set up the feed video for you. Okay? But just use the room. Start out with the room. Make it cheap. Make it free. Make it simple. Ask me more about it, George. You can Skype me, okay? All right, y'all have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow in the room. See y'all there.